Welcome to another episode of Paranormal Perspective. I'm John Lorden, and joining me as always is...
Christy Arnhart.
This is the show where Christy does the research. She looks into a paranormal or paranormal adjacent topic. She brings it here and presents it to us in front of a live stream audience, and we put the question to them, is this really paranormal or not? Now, what do? I give the counterpoint. I'm looking for reasonable explanations, logic, science, things like that. But, believe it or not, I don't always win. She went on a magnificent run earlier this year, but we're going to see if she can swing back to it maybe in this episode. Christy, what are we talking about today?
Today, we'll be examining ghost marriages and their effect on the living.
I don't think I heard that. What was that?
We will be examining ghost marriages and their effect on the living.
Ghost marriages. People are marrying ghosts.
Yes.
Okay, now hold on. How come I haven't seen a TV show? I've watched every 90 Day Fiancé that there is.
Nobody married a ghost?
No. I'm now on a kick of watching people that want to marry inmates and then have them move in as soon as the inmates get out. Yeah,
I saw that show. I love it.
It's a mess. Every one of those situations comes out terribly. It's a car crash.
It is.
So you're telling me there's people that are actually marrying ghosts?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Even if the ghosts don't consent? This sounds a little...
Well, and I'll get into the specifics.
Okay.
Let me just get into the specifics of it.
Well, before you do that, give us the question. What are we going to be putting to the audience?
So, in a ghost marriage, or necrogamy, is what it's called. Necrogamy. Necrogamy.
Okay.
Can the deceased...
It should be necromonogamy, shouldn't it? Well, unless they're marrying multiple people.
That's true.
I'm necromonogamous.
What if it's a sister-wife situation? Right. Oh my gosh.
I'm necropolygamist.
Necrogamy. Yes.
Okay.
Necrogamy.
Okay.
Can the deceased spiritually influence their mate?
Can the deceased spiritually influence their mate? I mean, that sounds paranormal enough.
Oh, it's paranormal.
It would have to be, because it would mean that there's some type of messaging or communication or something that's happening, coming across from the other side in some way.
There is.
Okay. No, I'm saying. I'm clarifying for when we do hit them with the question.
Okay.
Because one of the pictures I'm looking at right now has me wondering what the heck's going on with this episode. Okay, go ahead.
So what is a ghost marriage? Well, a ghost marriage is very simple. It's a marriage where one or both of the parties are already deceased. And believe it or not, you see this in different cultures all over the place, especially during wartime, when you have a woman who's engaged or pregnant by a soldier. A lot of times, especially in France, they'll make sure that these war widows are married to the deceased person so that they can receive their benefits.
Oh, interesting. Yes. Okay. Okay.
Even Nazi Germany did this for their women as well.
Okay.
Now, in other countries, sometimes this will be done to carry on the family name and the bloodline. Say, a woman is pregnant, husband or the fiance is dead. She's able to marry him, take his name on, his child is born. You get that.
Yeah.
Then you've got cultures who consent to these marriages due to religious or spiritual reasons. Like the Chinese will marry their dead in a rare ceremony called Minghun. And it was believed that if someone was single when they died, they'd be lonely when they got to the afterlife and they wouldn't be able to achieve balance. So they would be married either to another deceased single person or to a person in this life who stays single and celibate for their entire life because they're married to this ghost.
This is kind of tapping close to another thing that I know is a true practice, and that is people baptizing deceased people into different religions, because basically they're worried that they're going to, burn in hell forever or whatever. So we have to go baptize them. But it's interesting. I didn't think about the legal implications, and
Mhm.
it's
Oh yeah.
that's another consideration that I just my brain did not go there off the top of this. That's really interesting.
I know. I thought that was interesting too, and I think it's incredible. Of course, the United States offers nothing like this, but many other countries offer deals like this to help women, to help children. I mean, in the spiritual sense, if these people go on and they're alone in the afterlife, they start to cause trouble for their family and friends in this life. Then you have marriages that happened because, can you see my cat tapping my shoulder?
No, I saw a ghost. I'm pretty sure I saw a ghost because it was just
He wants me to
popping
pay
in.
attention.
You think?
He was, here he comes again.
Is that a
What?
fake? Is that a prop? I feel like
No,
someone's
that's
tapping
Sebastian.
you with like a paw that's on a stick or something.
No, it's Sebastian. He
Oh my
taps me on the
goodness.
shoulder when he wants my attention.
Jeez. I thought my cats were bad.
Oh yeah, he's pretty bad. He is. Yeah.
There's a weird line that I'm having around one of the people being alive and the other being dead. It's a different
Mhm.
thing to me if it's like, well, you know, you have a family member that passed away. Our family also has a family member that passed away. What if we had, you know, a spiritual union that happened between our families, and you know, we're considering those two souls joined at this point, like that there's
Yeah.
something sweet and romantic about that. Um, but I don't know about the outside of the legalities. I don't know about the live person and the deceased person. At least that's how I'm feeling about it right now.
And they just, from what I've read, that they just agree to be celibate and to stay single for the rest of their lives because they're married to this person who's passed away.
Okay.
And, a lot of times they'll have, even the Japanese do this because I know that in Okinawa, they were really influenced by China, and they have a really strict belief in this too that has to ceremonies and everything else. It gets really detailed. But yeah, all kinds of people all over the world do this. And the Chinese specifically believe that if they're not able to achieve balance in the afterlife, they start getting surly. And then they come back and they start messing with their families, their loved ones. They're not happy. So this
Okay.
helps them achieve balance. It helps them to be happy in the end. That's what everybody wants, especially if you've passed away. And, think about this. If you've got a young daughter who, say, came up pregnant, something of that nature, if you could do one of these spirit marriages, your family saves face.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
So there's a lot of different ways, and I could go on because there are so many different cultures and whatnot that do this. But today, I want to address the other side of these marriages and what happens when you marry the dead, but they come back to take an active part in your life and affect you physically and spiritually.
Well, I would call that paranormal if that happened.
That's paranormal, my friend.
Okay.
So I give you the case of Amanda Teik. If we could pull up a picture of Amanda, please.
Well, hold on a second. Johnny Depp's still alive.
He is. But that's
And-
not technically Johnny Depp.
Okay, go ahead.
So here we have Amanda Teik, 45 years old. On July 23rd, 2016, Amanda married 300-year-old pirate Jack Teague, who she says is popularly known as Captain Jack Sparrow today, even linked to the Disney franchise.
No.
They were married on a small boat in the Atlantic Ocean in international waters because
Did that
she's
small
from
boat go
Ireland.
down a big giant thing of water and then wind up under a house where there was pirate ships shooting at each other and animatronics going like this?
No,
Are you sure?
No, nothing like Disneyland. No, I'm afraid not.
Is Jack Sparrow a real figure? Chat?
Well, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So, this divorced mother of four works as the only Jack Sparrow impersonator in Ireland. She claims that their spiritual relationship began in 2015 when she was lying in her bed home in Ireland and she suddenly felt Jack's presence. Now, after 6 months of continued contact, she developed feelings for him.
This
And
was
the
after
two
a bottle of
decided,
whiskey, right? This was after a bottle of Irish whiskey.
this is 6 months worth of loving. She developed feelings, the two of them did, and they decided that they wanted to make it official and to get married. And by the way, a lot of this communication happens between a medium and her.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So they're a thruple,
So,
basically. We're talking spiritual thruple here.
well, I don't know about that.
She's a terrible Jack
Now,
Sparrow, let me just say. Have you ever seen the Jack
she,
Sparrows at Disneyland or at Disney World?
yeah, they look just like Johnny Depp.
Amazing. Yeah.
I know. But Jack Sparrow didn't look like Johnny Depp.
Oh, okay.
Not
You might
her
have a
Jack
point.
Sparrow.
You might have a point there.
And, keep in mind, see, cutting the cake.
What the heck?
This is her wedding.
It's kind of sad, Christy. It's kind of sad.
So, similar to most relationships, they get into fights. They get jealous of each other. They have disagreements. And by the way, she had work done to look more like Jack Sparrow. She had some teeth work done, some gold teeth, some dreadlocks. It helps her impersonating gig. She says that Teague describes their chemistry as incredible and says that Jack is the best sex she ever had. Now, it isn't legal in the UK or Ireland to marry ghosts, which is why they sailed into international waters to have this done. There was a registrar there. It's entered into the books. The medium gave consent for Jack because he could not speak. And they placed the ring on her finger, and there we go.
Okay, now before how I was talking about when she first got connected to him, if whiskey was a part of it.
Is there a bottle of whiskey on the table?
You think? Does she need that for him to show up? There it is, right there. She's waiting
I would say it helps.
Yeah, waiting for her husband to show up.
And it's rum. I can tell that's rum.
That's definitely rum. Yeah.
So she had to have that for him because he was a pirate.
Unbelievable.
I mean, she says that she doesn't know what he looks like, technically. But her husband's, she says that he wasn't.
Why not imagine Johnny Depp? I mean, if you don't know what someone looks like, you imagine Johnny Depp, right?
I mean, she's a huge Jack Sparrow fan, so I would. She says that he's of African descent, and presents himself as a man in his early 50s as he died. I believe he was hung. Yeah. He was executed by hanging in 1753 after he was caught assisting slaves to escape. They were slaves he was trading.
Are we talking about Jack Sparrow or are we talking about the Jack Teague?
Well, Jack Teague was known as Jack Sparrow according to her.
Okay. But the history you're giving me right now is about Jack Teague, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And unfortunately, we're unable to verify that because records on these events only go back to 1794 and his death was 1753. So we have to keep that going. Now, it has been stated by the guy who started the whole Pirates franchise that Jack is based on a real person, but his name is Jack Ward. Now, Jack Ward lived from 1553 to 1622, and he was also known as Sparrow. So there you go. He was an English pirate. He eventually became a corsair for the Ottoman Empire during the 17th century. And
well, now my brain's going twisty because I'm running some searches here, and I looked at Pirate Jack Teague. The first thing to come back is a Pirates of the Caribbean wiki that is saying Edward Teague, and Edward Teague is the father of Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
But you're saying the real name wasn't Teague at all.
No, according to the man who started the franchise, but she's married to the real life Jack Sparrow, not the fictional one we see in the movies. She just likes that picture of Johnny Depp.
Okay. And to be fair, this has been reported by people.com. So we're talking legitimate news source here.
Yes. She insists that her husband's physical existence was the inspiration for Jack Sparrow in the Pirates franchise, regardless of what the creator says. So I don't know who you believe here. She's talking to Jack. So I don't know who to believe there. What we do know is that these two are married, right? So something that you have to remember, and I've brought it up before, when you mess with things like this, you have to know what you're doing. And she does not, and admits it. Didn't know what she was doing, believed what the spirit told her. And then after they got married, she started having all kinds of problems. For one thing, her luck went down the drain. Everything she did fell apart. And her health got so bad, she got to where she couldn't even work. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. It was,
oh, let me guess.
She had
something to do with her liver?
No. No. It was not the rum.
It might have been, Christy.
But she even had a near-death experience. She got so sick.
Okay.
And she finally figured out that it was Jack. Jack is siphoning off, which anytime you have a spirit, it has to draw energy from its surroundings to make noises, to be known, the whole 9 yards. So Jack was constantly sucking out her energy so he could manifest, so he could do things in this, do what he wanted to, I guess, mess with her. Because she had nothing but bad luck and nothing turned out well for her. So
well, guess what happens when you date a pirate? I mean, let's be fair.
Was it even a pirate? We don't know what she got a hold of in the void out there when she was talking. So, I mean, it could have been a succubus. It could have been all kinds of different things. So, naturally, 2 years after their wedding ceremony, Amanda announced that they were going to get divorced.
You can't divorce Jack Sparrow. You cannot divorce Jack Sparrow. You can hardly divorce Johnny Depp. Like, look what a mess that turns out to be.
Yeah. Just things got bad. You know, she said, quote, "Obviously, I was in love with Jack. Unfortunately, Jack was taking far too much energy and literally draining me and pretty much just using me for his own selfish intentions. He was a pirate. What he did was steal when he was alive. Now he's stealing or draining energy. It's kind of makes sense when you think about it. I can't believe it took me this long to figure it out."
All right, so here's what's really going on with this story, in my mind.
Okay.
This medium that helped facilitate all this nonsense took this woman for a bunch of money and owes every penny of that back to her. I don't hate the thought of someone celebrating their life in this way. I feel like she wanted to have a wedding. And honestly, I think it kind of looks like a wedding that someone would have, like, committing to themselves. Like, I'm going to have my own party and I'm going to bring my friends. We're going out on a boat.
She had bridesmaids. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I love that for her. I love that she created an experience that was important in her life that she wanted to have in that way. I don't think she needed this component to do that. To the point of, I mean, this ghost marriage only lasts 2 years before they're in ghost divorce court.
Yeah. Sadly, she said before the marriage, I worked, I was healthy, I worked out, I was very healthy for my age. About 2 weeks after the wedding, health problems began to plague me. Things happen in life and bad luck, but looking at what's happened in my life and the effect he had on my life, I have to look at that as evidence that he is quite destructive.
I see where you've gone with this, Christy.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know what creature. Did she come up with her own thought form? Because she could get her own tulpa going. She was obsessed with pirates. She was dressing up as Johnny Depp every day. Hey, Junior. Could it be that she created her own tulpa?
Could be. We have some people in the chat also talking about mental health issues, which I want to be fair. Like, there's definitely a reality around that could be happening here too. Like she
Yes.
could be having some type of schizophrenic episodes. She could literally, I mean, it's interesting because we're not hearing that like she's hearing voices or things to that
Mm-mm.
level necessarily. Her connection
Yeah.
seems to be purely spiritual. And I'm telling you, it just, this third party enabling the conversation between the two of them is where I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
if there's anything angering me about this story, that's the piece that's getting me. Because I feel like this is someone that took advantage of this woman who is in a delicate space with what she was going through. Her life maybe not turning out the way that she had expected, you know, having several children and a failed marriage and then being on her own at this point. And like, you know, there's something, my heart kind of breaks for her in a way. But no, you're not. I don't know.
See, I never found anything about any kind of mental illness. There still could have been, but I didn't
Yeah, I
find
mean,
anything.
even your description of what she's going through after the marriage, like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds like depression, at least to me. Plus, she's having all these physical things, and you
Mm-hmm.
know, as someone that
Well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as someone that, you know, tries to keep check on my physical and mental health, I recognize that there's a very strong connectivity between those two things.
Yeah.
And if my mental health isn't doing well, my physical health absolutely suffers. So,
Yeah,
um,
it does.
yeah.
She is now prepared to do whatever it takes to break their marriage vows. Nobody really knows how to do this because he's a ghost, because you can't just go to court and get a divorce from a ghost. So she is looking into all types of supernatural ways to break this.
Oh man. So it's continuing. Basically, this story is continuing in a way that is also troubling. But if she got married in international waters, like what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of the legality of like, who does that wind up with? What record? What registrar takes that? And they're like, okay, now it's official. You're married to this ghost. And outside of that, she married someone that there's no records of because they predate records in that area. Like you can't even get a marriage license without a birth certificate. So how is any of this? I hope she's getting help. I hope she's talking to someone more than someone that claims that they're talking to ghosts for her. Because
well, she's not talking to Jack anymore.
That's pretty serious. That's pretty serious. And he's going to owe her all kinds of alimony. He's going to have to tell her where he buried that chest.
I mean, that would be one of the first things I asked. I mean, do you was there any treasure?
Well, and I don't want to go this way with it too much, but if you marry a ghost, are you really afraid of death at that point? Because you know that there's an existence beyond, and you're waiting for the time for you to be together with the person that you love. So it's interesting to me that the health issues kind of freaked her out or scared her in the way that they did, considering her beliefs and her reality that she was married to a ghost. But wow, Christy. Well, last week we had a close one. This week we have an extremely close one.
Really?
I'm ending the poll. There's only a 5% difference.
Ooh, I'm telling you.
Did you win? It's your favorite song. Oh,
come on.
Get your Jack Sparrow cosplay ready, everybody.
Oh, bye, Shauna. Well, that sucks.
Speaking
because
of which,
there's no telling what she married.
Yeah, Christy, you keep them entertained for a minute. I'll be back in just 1 minute.
Oh my gosh. What's he gonna go do? I swear he's got that porch pirate outfit. Is he going to get the porch pirate outfit?
Oh man, it must be out in the garage. I have a Jack Sparrow wig and a pirate shirt. I was going to pop them on real quick, but they're out. I think they're out in the garage. I thought they were handy.
Oh, I know. I told him. I said he's got that porch pirate outfit.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if he's going to get
the porch pirate outfit. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's in the garage. Oh well, Christy. You were really close. Very, very close today. Is she going to be able to pull it off next week? That's the question. The other question is, are you going to be here to witness it? And I think the answer to that is yes. Christy, thank you so much for your hard work on today's episode. Where can people send you ideas for future episodes?
Well, you can message me on X at Ghost of Christy, or you can send me an email at paranormalpers, PERS, @gmail.com.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Please tell us what you thought in the comments down below and try to catch us live. It's a lot of fun. We got a great crew here, and you could be one of the voters in the pre-recorded version. Thank you so much. Until next time, we'll catch you on the other side.
Arg.
Gonna save from the screen tonight. Sean and Christy, it was a fright. Paranormal vibes, we brought the light. And catch us again, it'll be alright. We'll see you soon, don't you fret. Enjoy the